Welcome to another, I want to say, amazing episode of Shining Through Your Words series, proudly brought to you by Write and Shine Media House. My guests are just incredible, and I'm so delighted to have my next guest here visiting me. Please, will you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Tabatha Jones. I'm a career advancement and leadership coach who truly helps women shine in their careers as they work toward career advancement and amazing new jobs. And I'm so excited to be here today.
It's amazing. And my buzzword is shine. And we had a chat now about, unhappy spaces, etc., etc. And I do think a very big theme going as a collective. I mean, I'm here in South Africa, and I'm really seeing a theme of how we played small, in a massive way through what we do and how we do it. If you want to maybe share your experience, within your space and helping others shine in their careers from playing small to shining, because I love it.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And women, for some reason, it's so easy for us to play small, which doesn't mean we're not working as hard as anybody else or sometimes harder than other people. We're just not taking up the space that we deserve, especially in the career space, right? I worked in corporate America for a lot of years. I led tech teams for more than 20 years at a telecom company. I myself played really small for the first 10 years of my leadership career, taking on more and more responsibility and just thinking somebody will magically promote me when I'm perfect. And that didn't happen, right? So, my mission now is to save women from that wasted time. And it wasn't all wasted, right? I learned a lot of great things. I met a lot of great people, but it was time when I could have been advancing my career had I taken ownership and taken up that space. So, shifting to today, that's absolutely what I teach women. It's okay to take up that space. It's okay to make your voice heard. And it's okay if not everybody likes you all the time.
I
Sometimes that just comes with the game, right?
And I also say, if I'm not your cup of tea, it's okay. I am more of a champagne type of gal anyway. So
Agree.
the right people will actually love your brilliance and your light. And that's why I'm so excited about having you here, because I do feel what you do is it's a big part of who you are, how you do it as well. It's not like your identity, but you spend so much time there, you might as well enjoy it.
Exactly. And there's so many women that will stay in a job just feeling stuck. Like, I can't, this is all I know. This is my comfort zone. This is, nobody's recognizing me and promoting me. And the reality is, you've got to get in the driver's seat. You have to take control to get what you want. And there's no age limit. I work with a lot of Gen X women who are, in that early 50s to kind of late 50s zone, and they're just like, oh, but I feel like maybe I'm just too old now. It's like, you're not, you're never too old. You just need to come in with that energy and that passion that you feel for the work you do and keep pushing it forward because there's absolutely an opportunity for you. You just have to take it.
Oh, I love it so much. Grab it by the horns, because it really is a thing of almost excuses. You hide behind your excuses, and that's part of the playing small if you're not
Mhm.
standing in your light. And but my next question to you, Tabitha, would be, the book that you wrote. Tell us more about it. For who did you write? Who's the person that you wrote it for?
I wrote it kind of for my younger self.
Oh,
And,
wow.
that person who continued working hard, continued striving for perfection. A little more of my story. I had a project manager title. But by the time I left that role, I was leading three separate teams of people. I was leading ginormous initiatives in the tech and telecom industry. I had earned my degree. I had done so many things and kept thinking if I just work harder, somebody's going to notice.
Oh,
And the shift for me came when we went through a reorg and I had to apply for my job. Everyone had to reapply. And I started looking at the job postings and realized I was already doing more than the role ahead of me.
wow.
And I went, well, wait a minute, what am I doing here? So I applied for it. I interviewed for it, and I was offered that role with an amazing 4% pay increase, which was the day I said, no, thank you.
Thank you, but no, thank you. It's not
No,
you, it's
thank you.
me. I've changed.
Right. It's absolutely both of us, but mostly me. Exactly. And so, we talk about, you mentioned excuses. I call them obstacles, right?
Yeah.
Things that we tell ourselves that really just get in the way of us going after those things that are so important. So I did write this book more for my younger self, just to add a little to that story. After I turned that job down, I was pulled into the CFO's office within about 15 minutes, where she told me what a value I was to the organization and told me why it was so important that they kept me and put me in that new role. And I was like, I should probably be doing this myself. And so I
Exactly.
Exactly. So I thanked her for it. She asked me what it would take to make the offer more palatable. I negotiated for a higher title. I negotiated for an additional 15% pay. So 19% in total. And walked out of there thinking, what am I doing? What have I been doing with my life?
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like a movie.
Oh my gosh. When I look back, it kind of is. I'm like, how did that happen? So when
Wow.
I wrote the book, it truly was for the women who are playing small, like I did early in my career, who are sitting in roles for so long, just striving for perfection or telling themselves, you can't, you're not as good as this person, or you're not as put together as you need to be, or you need one more certificate. We'll certificate and educate ourselves to death to
Yes.
get that promotion or whatever.
I
But
couldn't
that's
agree.
not the secret.
Yes. Yes. What is the secret, or is the secret in your book? Should we read your book?
Well, you absolutely should read my book. I actually have a copy right here. It's
Oh,
Promotion Ready in 3 months, The
love.
Women's Guide to Career Advancement. But I'll tell you, there are some definite secrets. A lot of it is mindset, a lot of it is getting out of your own way, clearing those obstacles. I spoke with a woman probably about 3 months ago now who was so frustrated that she didn't get a promotion. And I asked her, I said, well, what have you been doing to demonstrate that you're ready for a promotion? And she said, well, I just finished my MBA. I said, and then, what else did you do? Like, congratulations, that's
Yes.
huge. I'm celebrating you. What were you doing at work while you were working on your MBA? How were you making sure people knew your goals? How were you staying visible? How were you making sure that people understood the value that you bring to that role and your accomplishments? And she got really quiet and said, well, I haven't. I've just been working really hard and balancing my education with my job. And I said, you lost a little bit of traction there.
Wow.
So the reason I say promotion ready in 3 months is because we will often play small and get excited when we see that dream job post. We'll apply for it, we won't get it, and we just can't understand why. And it's because we didn't start planting the seeds in advance. So
Yes.
if you think about it, if you plant a tomato seed today, you're not eating a tomato tomorrow. You need to plant that seed and give it about 3 months of nurturing and, attention in all of the right spaces so that it can grow and flourish. Your career's the same way.
And also for our listeners and our viewers tuning in, if they're uncomfortable, because I always say when you're uncomfortable, it's actually a good sign because it means that you're not going to stay where you are. What would
Yeah.
you advise someone that's feeling very uncomfortable where they are at the moment?
It means that you're likely being pushed in the right direction by the universe, whether you choose to ignore it or not. It is your choice. The that feeling of discomfort. I've had so many clients say, "Oh, I saw this, but I just feel like it's really uncomfortable for me to apply. I don't think I'm ready." Well, maybe you're uncomfortable because you are ready and you need to apply and explore and see what's happening in that space. So
Wow.
I am full on about getting a little bit uncomfortable. And if you're too comfortable, you're really not in the right space.
I love that so much. And we're storytellers. So I've got like a narrative that I also use, from the eagle. Because when the eaglet is, I think it's the word eaglet, the little ones, is ready to fly. Sorry, my first language is Afrikaans. So I sometimes, but
No, I love it.
when the little eaglet is ready to leave the nest, the mama eagle starts to pluck the feathers and makes it extremely uncomfortable in the nest so that the little one is forced to fly. So I do see that discomfort as a beautiful sign from the universe. It's time to move to bigger things.
Absolutely. And we put ourselves in such boxes as well, right? Well, I've always done this. I can't do that. Well, absolutely you can. You need to take some time, look at those transferable skills and assess what do you want to do? We don't have to just because I led tech teams for 20 years doesn't mean I need to stay in the tech industry. It means that I can take those skills and I can apply them elsewhere. That's where my passion lies. It just takes that positioning and looking at yourself maybe through a little bit of a broader lens instead of coming into such a micro level.
Love it so much. And if I can ask you, Tabitha, what is your dream for your book? What is your dream for your work?
Oh, my dream is that it will help women understand that it's not up to anyone else to drive their careers forward, that it is 100% up to you. I share a lot of strategies that are actionable. I've got some worksheets in there that you can create and fill in as you go. But my dream is just that women will buy it and actually take action on it because it will make such a difference in their confidence and a lot of self awareness. And then just those strategies. We don't have to work ourselves into the ground to a point of stress and chaos. We really need to elevate and lead our teams appropriately. And we need to take up that space, like we've said a couple of times, but take it up in the right ways. Make sure that people know who you are. Make sure you know who you are, because that's how you can articulate it best, right? But make sure that other people in your industry or your company know who you are if you're working on a promotion. Often we are so comfortable working with our immediate team and our immediate leader that we forget our goal isn't to stay in this team with this leader. Our goal is to go this direction, but nobody who's hiring for those roles knows our name.
That's
We've
true.
got to get out there.
How would you recommend someone really showing up, without, being like, because you almost think it's going to be, look at me, you don't want to be like Donkey, pick me from Shrek.
Kind of you do.
Like
I
that
would
every
say,
day.
I it's about relationships. Everything
Love
in
it.
life is about building relationships. And that's also where that planting that seed 3 months in advance comes in, right? If I've got a leader, let's say I want to go work on the marketing team, and the marketing leader hasn't worked with me very much, has no idea that I have a marketing background or education, I need to build a relationship and make sure that person knows this about me. So
Yeah.
maybe scheduling a coffee chat or an informational interview and getting an opportunity to share, oh, these are some of the things I've done that impact your department right now that have benefited you. And here's a little bit more about my background. What are some things you look for when you're hiring a leader? Learn some things about them, nurture and build that relationship because this whole world literally thrives on relationships.
I love that so much. And for me as well, the big indicators if it will work or not is values. It's all based on values, and that you can absolutely see through the conversations and the relationships. What values would you say is needed to truly shine and thrive within your working environment?
To shine and thrive, definitely, being that person who people are comfortable with,
Love it.
being able to talk about your accomplishments is so important because people don't know, right? They don't know the impact of the work that you've done. We're women, we don't slow down and think about that. We just check off the list and we move on to the next thing. We have to be very clear and aware of our accomplishments and our impact, whether it's in the business, in the world, in our lives, or in our family. Being able to stand out as a leader. So, understanding what that means. Does it mean that you're in the weeds with your team all the time? It doesn't. It means that you absolutely know how to delegate and how to build trust and a really strong culture within your team. But there's just so many different values. One of the things that stuck out to me, I spoke at a conference a few years ago, and it was for women in tech, oddly enough. Not really, but most of the attendees were male. Um, so again, the women are working hard behind the scenes. But it was really interesting to me that when I said, You don't have to be the most technical person in the room to lead a tech team.
Yes.
The light bulbs, the expressions on the faces of these women was like, oh my gosh, you're right. You have to be able to speak tech a little bit. You have to be able to translate to the C-suite or whoever needs to know to make budget decisions or whatever needs to happen. But you don't have to be the expert in what your team does to lead them and make appropriate decisions. And that's just another one of those things that kind of holds people back and gets in their way for advancement.
I couldn't agree with you more because for me it's such a and it's not it's just a conversation because some people get intimidated when someone is better than you at something, and for me you want those that's better than you around you. That lifts you up as well. So I love that you say that because as a leader you don't have to be the best at everything you do, basically.
It's true. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're not in the right
I
room.
don't want to be there. Yes, exactly.
Right. And at the end of the day, what happens a lot, I say this in the tech space, is the most technical person gets promoted. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean they're a great leader or that they are going to be able to elevate and let their teams do their jobs. And I've seen a lot of failure in that space because the person who promoted was the most technical or the smartest person, and the rest of the team was going, well, now what do I do? Because we don't get to bring in any ideas. We're not driving innovation. We're just doing what this person says. So there's so much value in bringing in that different perspective of leadership and realizing that your skills are transferable. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room to lead the team.
I love that so much. I think there's a lot of aha moments happening here. And I do want to ask you if you would please come and visit me again, for us to talk about more strategies. I absolutely love it. And if anyone would like to contact you after this, how can they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Would love to come back and visit. This is so fun. As far as getting in touch with me, LinkedIn is the easiest way. I'm Tabatha Jones with all A's. Some Tabathas spell it with an I in the middle, which is not the right way. Just kidding. LinkedIn, you can also connect with me through email or my website. My email is tabatha at empowered-leader.com, and website is empowered-leader.com. So would love to connect. I actually have a couple of really great free resources that I can share, and would love to chat with anyone who's looking to advance their career.
That is absolutely amazing. And I will also share your links here with your book as well, for those who would like to purchase it. And definitely, I would love to have you back in this series because I do feel, the brighter we shine, the more impact we can make as well. So I would absolutely love to hear more strategies to get away from this pick me type of mentality.
There's definitely a smoother way to shine. That is for sure.
Tabatha, thank you so much for visiting me today. And everyone who joined in, I do hope you were inspired like I was. And I think the whole moral here of the story is not to play small. Like it's almost like you do yourself injustice, especially in your career. And it's you've got permission to shine. And that is where the beauty lies. And sometimes we do need the skills, especially if you're used to playing small. I do think it's a mindset thing, but it's also a skill. It's almost a survival type of thing. And I truly believe people like Tabatha was meant, to be here through your journey as well, to inspire others to shine. So thank you so much again for that. Everyone who joined in, keep on writing and keep on shining.
Just watch me shine.